Hi everyone, it's Melissa and welcome back to another Friday Reads and Rambles. I have not filmed one of these in quite a while, so I won't catch you up on everything because it's the end of the month, so I'm going to do an April wrap-up very soon anyway. But I'll just tell you about like the most recent things I finished and then my reading plans for the next little bit. So I finished, I think, 3 books this week. I finished How the One-Armed Sister Sweeps Her House, which I was reading all month because I was buddy reading this with Scott and Nell from Gunpowder Fiction and Plot. And I think we were all heavily engaged with this book. Again, I will talk about this more in my wrap-up, but I think it had a lot going for it because it really explored like setting and place in a really interesting way. It had a lot of really interesting characters that seemed very fleshed out, and I think although it was primarily a character-driven book, it was paced really well, and it had a lot of plot in it. Maybe not like a lot of plot, but I feel like even if you aren't someone who generally enjoys a character-driven book and you're more interested in plot, I think you would still enjoy it, is what I'm trying to say. So yeah, really enjoyed that. I also finished Pet by Akwaeke Emezi. This is like YA dystopian, utopian, dystopian. I don't really know how to categorize that. I guess that's the best I can do. YA is typically not my thing, but I do read the odd YA here and there because there are gems out there, and I just never discount a whole, subset or genre or anything of books, So this I really enjoyed. I think it was hyped a little bit too much for me. I think I had really high expectations that it just didn't quite meet. But I really enjoyed it and would recommend it. Even if you don't typically read YA, I think this is one of those YAs that it doesn't really follow typical YA tropes. I think the only reason it's really counted as YA is because it's a teenage protagonist, and because of like some of the content and stuff. Like it definitely wouldn't be like middle grade because there's a couple of swear words and whatever in the book. But yeah, it didn't feel like a YA to me, if you know what I mean. But yeah, really, really enjoyed that. And that one was super engaging, and I really liked the characters in that, and the magical realism in that book really worked for me. If you're not into magical realism, you probably wouldn't enjoy it. But I thought it was really good. And the other thing I finished this week was an audiobook of Mamaskatch by Darrel J. McLeod. I have forgotten the narrator's name, but I will list that below. And I really liked this. This was a memoir, a coming of age. The author grew up in Alberta and a little bit in BC, I think, in like the 60s and 70s. So this was, there were still residential schools at the time, but they had started to close. But his mother went to residential school. So it's very much a story of kind of like post that era of history, or not post it, but kind of coming out of that era of history. Basically just the intensity of the intergenerational trauma that he and his siblings faced because of what their mother had gone through. And it really kind of explores a lot of different like intersecting identities because the author is Indigenous, he's gay, there's a lot of angles that this memoir takes, and I thought it was really interesting, very heartbreaking and harrowing in spots, super honest, and just captivating. So I would recommend that if you are a lover of memoir, as I am. So those are the things I finished this week. I am hoping to finish one more thing today because, I can finish it this weekend. It's fine. However, if I can finish this in April, like if I cannot carry this over into another month, that would just be the cherry on top. But I am so very close to finishing The Stone of Farewell by Tad Williams. This is the epic fantasy that Rick McDonnell was running a read-along, although he hasn't posted about this in a while. And technically the read-along's over, but like, I'm way behind. But maybe he's behind. Maybe everyone's behind and it's fine. Anyway, this is the second in a trilogy. And I'm really enjoying this. The only reason I haven't really finished it is because, well, A, it's long. And I had all these other books that I was reading. And so I kept putting this one down to like finish other things. And I don't think I really did this book service because fantasy like this with like a lot of characters and place names and languages and all of these things really demands attention. But I've highly enjoyed it. I am like probably less than 100 pages from the end because there is an like pretty hefty appendix. So I don't think I want to finish it tonight so bad, but I don't know. There's still like, yeah, like maybe like 80 or so pages. And I'm a pretty slow reader. So I don't know. We'll see. Maybe I'll stay up late and read it. But yeah, I am so excited to be done with this book finally. I've been reading it for so long. And I'm really excited to get to the next one because I am enjoying it, but I think I'm going to give myself a breather because I just feel like I should have maybe not read this exclusively, but almost exclusively. Like I shouldn't have had as many other things on the go while I was reading this. So I think when I pick up the third and final in the trilogy, I want to make sure I have like no other buddy reads, like nothing else going on kind of thing. So I might leave it for a month or two and then come back to the last one. But anyway, we'll be finishing this up shortly. And I started something today. This was on my TBR for May, but I finished Mamaskatch on audio, and I actually have this on audio. I forgot. So I have this physical copy if I want to read it, but I needed a new audiobook to start anyway, so I started this today. It's The Spirit Catches You and You Fall Down by Fatiman. And I realized I mispronounced this earlier. It's not Hamong, it's Among Child, her American doctors, and the collision of two cultures. So it's about a young girl who has severe epilepsy, and I'm only like 2 chapters in, and I can tell I am really going to like this. I really like how the author is like weaving things together. I just really am enjoying the writing style a lot. So I've started that, and tomorrow, provided I finish Stone of Farewell, I'm going to be getting started on Never Let Me Go by Kazuo Ishiguro because this is for my in real life book club, which I run, so I definitely have to read it. So I'm prioritizing this for my May TBR. And so basically, as soon as I'm done Stone of Farewell, I will be starting this. So that's everything I've read and reading. Will read soon. I don't have much for my rambles today, except a quick thank you and also a question, looking for some suggestions. So on my last vlog that I posted, so these are vlogs that I do called Pop Culture Osmosis, where I read like really famous works of fiction and try to kind of like guess what's going to happen based on my knowledge of it through like pop culture and like references in like movies and TV and other books and whatever. And they are the thing when I put out, I'm always the most nervous when uploading because it's different when you're sitting down. I feel like it's different talking just about some books. This, even though my channel's fairly casual, this is just slightly more professional or formal in a way, I guess, versus vlogging is very much like caught in the moment, a little bit more raw. You're getting like raw reactions. It's a little bit more off the cuff, and it feels slightly more vulnerable even though I'm not talking about anything personal in them. Do you know what I mean? So just for whatever reason, for all of those reasons and probably others, like posting vlogs is still a little nerve-wracking for me. And everyone has been so kind in the comments of those. So I just wanted to say thank you for everyone who has left a nice comment saying like, oh, this was so much fun. I love this vlog. Like, that just warms my heart. A lot of the comments are around like, oh, what a like creative or interesting idea. And it was 100% not my idea. This was my husband's idea. We jokingly refer to him now as my creative director because it was his idea and I think it was a good one. And also he's given me a list of like all of these other ideas, like, oh, so you can do this, 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 and this. And I'm like, oh, like, thanks. I am not creative in that way. And he just is. So yeah, so I have to pass along a lot of thank yous, or pass along a lot of the compliments rather to him because it was all his idea. But thank you anyway for all of the kind comments. And the follow-up to that is if you have suggestions for books or plays that you think are super famous, that are referenced in pop culture, that you think most people probably have at least a running familiarity with, even if they haven't read it, please let me know. I've had a couple of suggestions and I am writing them down, but I always welcome more because although I have like a short list of things, I'm finding some of the suggestions I'm getting are probably better fodder for those style of vlogs than what I originally had listed. So yeah, if you have any ideas for something like super famous that you think would be good for those vlogs, please do let me know. I think that's all. So thank you everyone for watching. I hope everyone's doing really well and we'll chat soon. Take care. Bye.